I am often intrigued by human nature. Why people do what they do, and the things that drives people. And as I have said this week on the broadcast, just amazed at the things that Mark teaches us in the Gospel of Mark, the words of Jesus, and how it was that Jesus was able to continue ministry in the voice of all the opposition that came his way. Chapter number 3 of the Gospel of Mark starts this way. It says, "And he entered into the synagogue, and there was a man there that had a withered hand." Now, listen to this. This is what I'm about to read to you here, because this is just fascinating. "And they," meaning scribes, Pharisees, Sadducees, all these groups that eventually joined forces to put Jesus on the cross. "And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him." Now, I find that to be fascinating, because here's a man who's come into the synagogue and he has a withered hand. And that's a problem. That's a problem for this man. And probably more than anything in his world, he wanted to be healed of this situation that he was dealing with. But these people who were so self-centered, they looked at the situation and they were watching Jesus because they wanted to know whether he was going to heal on the Sabbath day. They were more concerned about that than they were the man's withered hand. Now, here's what really fascinates me about this, is that why were they even watching him? Why were they there watching Jesus to see if he would heal on the Sabbath day? Well, the reason why is because he'd done it before. and that, to me, I get a little chuckle out of that, because Jesus often did this on the Sabbath day, and he knew what the reaction was going to be from those people. But nevertheless, as they watched him, it says that Jesus said unto the man with the withered hand, he said, "Stretch out your hand." Now, you have to give this some thought now, because this is an action thing. Here was a man with a withered hand who you could just imagine being healed of this would just be life-changing for him. But here are these negative voices over here, and then here was Jesus. And this man's got to make a choice. And Jesus said to him, he says, "Stretch out your hand." Well, that's a choice. That's an action thing. And the man had to decide whether he was going to believe in the ministry of Jesus Christ and his ability to heal, or they can listen to these negative voices over here. And church, we have these choices every day. Every day we have to make these type of choices as to what are the voices that we're going to listen to. Yesterday I talked to you young preachers out there, and some of you are struggling in your churches and you're having a difficult time because you got all these voices. And the question is what voice are you going to listen to? And to me, as Jesus said, just stretch out your hand. I'd say to you, anybody, just stretch out your hand to Jesus. Just give your heart to Jesus. Just pray and seek the face of God, hear the voice of God, and then you do what God tells you to do. And I think you'll do well. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.